My amplified unit! It is in fact a travel day today, which means we are out in the world, which also means this Smackdown July 1st, 2022 review will be in audio format only. But don't you worry, not only is it going to have the same amount of amplification we always bring, it's probably going to have even more amplification, because we all know how BC gets when I'm out in the world, surrounded by stupid people. And we're going to get right into the Smackdown review because it doesn't deserve a cold open. To say BC is not happy with this show last night would be an understatement. BC has not been happy with this whole Money in the Bank build, or lack thereof. But BC sounds like a broken record by now, doesn't he? Oh yes, every single time there's a WWE pay-per-view, we talk about how nothing makes sense. On paper, it's utter garbage. And we can only hope that when the pay-per-view is performed, that the performers themselves can make chicken salad out of chicken shit. And you know what? A lot of times they do. But they shouldn't be put in that predicament. They should be given more time, effort, energy, respect, than to have to dig themselves out of a hole every pay-per-view. No, Vince McMahon will never give them that respect or time of day. He won't give his product that time of day. There is not one person on the planet that can lie to BC or any of my amplified unit if they honestly try to convince somebody that this was proper build to Money in the Bank, that this was fun build, that this was intriguing, that you're excited for Money in the Bank, because those would be lies personified. You can't possibly say that this is proper build when they don't even know what they're doing. Nobody is talking to one another backstage. Nobody. Just on Monday Night Raw, Montez had a match with who? I believe Jey Uso. And the winner gets to pick a stipulation for their tag team match at Money in the Bank. Forget the fact that we've seen the match 67 times before. Forget the fact that it's a rematch nobody needs to see again. But what about the stipulation, right? It's going to be called out on Smackdown. I mean, that's what one would assume, right? But when you assume, you just make an ass out of you and me, right? Literally spells out the word assume. So maybe we shouldn't have. But logic, common sense would tell us that the stipulation match was put out there on Monday. Smackdown, you just tell everyone what the stipulation is going to be. You had a face-to-face between the teams last night. No stipulation was even brought up. Michael Cole didn't even bring up the stipulation! Are we imagining it? Did it never happen? You almost have to go back. You almost have to go back and say, well maybe I fucking... I didn't hear it. Maybe I was just hearing things. Maybe the show was just so fucking bad Monday night, I started literally just hearing shit. But no, there's a stipulation. The match was made between Montez and Jey because they knew we've already seen these motherfuckers in the ring so many times. So let's make the winner get to pick a stipulation. Nobody even gave a fuck to acknowledge it on Friday night. And you know what the sad truth is? It's probably because nobody even remembered, guys. Nobody remembered. They all forgot. Nobody gave a shit. Business as usual. As long as the audience forgets, we don't need to spend any extra time and effort or energy on this shit. Meanwhile, a fan that likes continuity like BC and a lot of my amplified unit, we were thinking, what about the stipulation? No, Vince McMahon is hoping that everyone forgets. I bet you a lot of people did forget, and that's right up Vince's alley. Those are the ones that Vince wants in his arenas, filling up the arenas, and every fucking 2 minutes and every 6 moves, chanting, "This is awesome! This is awesome! This is motherfucking awesome!" Can you not say a swear? It's PG TV. And the audience will fucking bow down to his feet. Okay, Vince, sorry. No, we're not going to even fucking acknowledge the fucking stipulation. Why would we? That would mean you're having continuity. That means you're making sense. We're not going to question the choosing of participants for the Money in the Bank matches this year, which has literally been throwing stale baloney at the wall and seeing what sticks on whose name. I mean, at first we're starting off with qualifying matches. Then all of a sudden last Monday, it's not even the last spot, so you can't even call it a last chance battle royal. There's a couple of spots left, and they just switched to a battle royal on Monday Night Raw. You were having qualifying matches, then switched to a battle royal. And then last night, back to a qualifying match. And it's a schmaz, by the way. So qualifying, battle royal, qualifying. Why does it need to make sense? BC, you're just bitching, ranting, complaining for nothing, man. Just sit back and enjoy it, BC. You overthink it, BC. No, I really don't. I'm literally thinking bare minimum here, guys. I've had to. I was forced to lower my fucking bar for this company. How sad is that? I've lowered the bar to the most mediocre standards imaginable, and they still can't get it right. I still can't comprehend the stupidity that they're dishing out to us on a showly basis. How do you fathom this? How do you say this is just a fan that's overthinking it and not trying to enjoy it? I'm sure as hell I've been trying to enjoy WWE for 10 fucking years. I've been watching this shit more than 30 years. That's how I know we're nowhere near this company's capability. Qualifying matches, stipulations nobody fucking remembers. Qualifying matches, nobody even knows how you're qualifying anymore. How about this past week's Monday Night Raw main event? Everybody, it was a 6-pack challenge for the ladies. Everybody's a fucking heel. No faces. So you don't even give your crowd a chance to cheer. Because who the fuck are you going to cheer? They're all booked as heels, correct? And I use that loosely because Vince doesn't even fucking book anybody properly as a heel or a face. So that's probably what he thought. You just go out there. They'll eventually cheer for a few of you. They'll think it's good shit. That's not what happened though, was it? No, everybody was viewing the same thing, BC and all my amplified unit. We were viewing 6 fucking heels in 1 fucking match. Let's be honest. And then on top of that, last night, you get a fucking four-way for the last spot in Money in the Bank, and you have 2 faces in this son of a bitch. 2 faces in this match. And that's the outcome. That's the finish, right? 1 face is pinning another face. How do you book this nonsensically, man? You only have 2 faces in the match. One of them has to get... We're going to go over all of it. You know, I said there wasn't going to be a cold open, and I just went 5 fucking minutes plus with all my fucking frustrations from last night, but this has been building up. But it's a travel day. BC doesn't got a hell of a lot of time. It's a weekend. You guys want to do anything but talk about this shit show, so I understand. Let BC run through this, and I'll try to go as quick as possible, guys. But you know, when BC just gets all this illogical fucking BS into one show, and I gotta review it, sometimes I spend extra minutes on shit that I should just bypass because it ain't worth my time. So I'll try to instill that. I'll try to instill that into my fucking repertoire as I go over this review. I gotta remind myself, BC, it's not worth the extra minutes. Anyway, show starts. All the qualifiers thus far up on top of ladders in the ring. Omos is the only one who's standing on the canvas with MVP next to him. And that's because Omos is already over 19 feet tall. You put him on top of the ladder, he's going to be out of the hard cam's fucking range. Let's just put him on ground level. And again, this is Rollins, Sheamus, Riddle, Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre, all on top of ladders. Omos standing in the ring. Now, Miz, Ezekiel, Baron Corbin, and Madcap Moss all come down to the ring during this segment to bitch, moan, and complain that they're not in the Money in the Bank match. Now, all 10 dudes are yelling over one another about being Money in the Bank winner, even the ones that are not in the match. Everybody is talking about what they could do if they got it. This is what I mean about the most simplified, unexciting television you could possibly have leading into Money in the Bank. And this is another reason why BC says we need to do away with these gimmick pay-per-views. I love the Money in the Bank concept. Keep it at a pay-per-view, like WrestleMania. I love the TLC concept. Keep it at a pay-per-view, like maybe Extreme Rules. But do not have these as separate pay-per-views. They never work. Especially in this PG environment. Blood and Guts from AEW was way more captivating and way more shocking than anything TLC can possibly deliver, or Money in the Bank, or even Hell in a Cell. It's done. They have to realize that it's ran its course and to put these gimmicks back on actual pay-per-views, not make them their own pay-per-view. Because, guys, it's just not working. They've proven they don't even have the capability to make these things interesting anymore. Anyway, this is the build. 10 dudes. Some of them are in the match, some of them not even in the match, and we're 24 hours at this point. Less. At this point, we are less than 24 hours away from the actual pay-per-view, which is tonight. But by the time this segment was on, it was 8:10 by this point when everybody's yelling at one another. Well, the pay-per-view starts at 8 tonight, so it's less than 24 hours, and we don't even know all the participants yet. Think about that shit. So lame. So damn lazy. Best way to put it. So lame, so damn lazy. Every fucking year we do this. Get rid of the gimmick pay-per-views, premium events, glorified Raws, slightly enhanced Smackdowns, whatever you want to call this shit. Get rid of these events. They should be called finished, done, finito. Anyway, Pierce then hits the top of the ramp and declares a battle royal between all 10 men. Never mind the fact that there's only 10 frickin' dudes. You can't have a battle royal with 10 frickin' dudes. You can have a fantasy football meetup with 10 dudes. You can have a bachelor party at a strip club with 10 dudes. But you cannot or should not have a battle royal with just 10 people. It looks goofy! It looks goofy. But no, we'll have 10 dudes over there trying to throw each other over the top rope. And this is the exact same way we started Raw on Monday. A silly battle royal to fill a spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match because Vincent Kennedy McMahon cannot be bothered to deliver a fun story with a captivating swerve. So we get one schmaz match after another, and BC cannot stand schmaz matches. This match was so stupid and nonsensical that when Michael Cole went to tell us all why they were having this fight in the first place, why this match was happening, why they were all fighting in this match, Michael Cole had to pause when he was trying to explain because he had no fucking clue. Think about that, please. Go back and watch yourself. When Michael Cole was telling us all why this battle royal was happening, he literally had to pause. He stopped because he didn't have a fucking clue why we were watching this or why they were fighting one another. He didn't have a clue. So he stutters through it and he says it's for supremacy ahead of Money in the Bank. Supremacy of and for what, Michael Cole? Supremacy of and for what ahead of Money in the Bank, Michael Cole? The fuck are these people even talking about these days? That's what they're fighting for. Supremacy? What are you saying? This is the go-home show to Money in the Bank. We're less than 24 hours away at that point. And they're fighting over, just say it, nothing. They're fighting over nothing. This isn't the fucking Survivor Series. Half the people in the match aren't even in Money in the Bank. Supremacy of what? Of what? At least tell BC that they get a ribbon and a slice of pizza if they win the match. Just tell me that at least. Tell BC that they get a plastic trophy and a gold star. Tell BC that they get a few bucks from VKM's Hush Money Fund. Something! Tell BC they get something if they win the match. Supremacy, bro? Have we fallen that far this fast? Baron Corbin wins this thing and then celebrates in front of Pat McAfee. A go-home show to Money in the Bank. 45 minutes into this show at this point. 45 minutes. And all we have to talk about on this go-home show to Money in the Bank is Corbin's supremacy. And you know what's interesting here is that WWE, they knew Corbin winning this match was going to do nothing for anybody. So they actually had Corbin backstage cut a promo. And he actually had to address the people in the arena, and in his words, the people at home on their couches that are not happy about that decision. he had to address that and say, it's too bad. They're not giving me my credit. The fact that they knew that we were going to pan this shit, that should tell you everything you need to know. They had to go into fucking safety mode, damage control, and have Baron Corbin cut a promo after the match talking about us fans that are not going to be happy with the decision. Bro, who could be happy with this? It's not even about Baron Corbin. It's the fact that the better part of the whole first hour of only 2 hours of a go-home show was dedicated to nothing. Michael Cole had to stop what he was saying when he was trying to explain why they're fighting. He had to stop because he was like, fuck, what are they fighting for? This is pretty stupid. Oh, they're fighting for supremacy. That's it. Bragging rights. To say that I won a battle royal. But BC's the only one that's going to call this out. I'll be the fucking bad guy in the community, huh? That's fine by BC. As long as it makes people open their fucking eyes. Wake up to the shit fest that is being served to you every Monday and Friday. I wish I could tell you that things made more sense afterwards, but of course I can't do that. The New Day talks shit about the Viking Raiders. The Raiders hit the ring, and it's as if we're going to get a match between the two. That's how they come to the ring, and that's how it's being discussed by Michael Cole. We're going to get this fucking match. Raiders and New Day. Not that anybody needs to see it. We've seen this about 12 times in the past. Oh, but I'm not supposed to say that. We're supposed to act like it's the first time. That's what happens when you don't build an actual tag team division. When your division is actually not just irrelevant, but it's actually non-existent, this is what you're going to do. You're going to have rematches time and time and time again. Build poorly with no care. No care by the company, no care into it from the fans. And this is it. But we're going to get the match anyway, we think, right? The Raiders hit the ring, and the Raiders just beat up the New Day. They beat up the New Day 2 weeks in a row now. The segment just ends just like that. No match, a beatdown. What the fuck, bro? Bro, what the fuck? What the fuck? Right? Let's not even yell. Let's have a calm what the fuck. What the fuck? What the fuck? Right? What the fuck? How is nobody just going? What the fuck? We just did this last fucking week. They made it seem like a match was scheduled, and for 2 straight weeks, we just get a New Day beatdown. This is what BC is talking about. It's at criminal standpoints right now. If you're a company that is supposed to produce creative television every week, every show, then you're criminally being negligent right now with your duties. Is it possible, even in the most simplest of forms, that we could maybe, just a little bit, get a fun storyline? Tell a story. Tell a story. Doesn't have to even be that great. Our bar is so damn low these days with WWE shows, we'll take a mediocre story and then we'll go from there. But just a story tell. But the same redundant toddlers arguing at recess angle is not fun, and it's played out. It's not interesting. It's not intriguing. It's not captivating. And it's not doing these wrestlers any good. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. These superstars any good. 6-woman schmaz follows. Why not? It's clearly a night of schmazes anyway. Might as well let the ladies look like complete morons, too. Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss, Asuka versus Lacey Evans, Shotzi, and Raquel. How about Lacey's booking, by the way? Lacey Evans gets 5-6 weeks of fucking Symphony World Tour, right? We're supposed to shed tears because she had a hard upbringing. She's a military baby. And we're supposed to give her all the props in the fucking world. And here she is on the heel team. Now you say, well, it's Raw, Smackdown, basically. Okay, you still placed her with 2 fucking heels against 3 faces. That is just horrendous. And then you wonder why there's a couple of reasons she got no fucking response last night. Number 1 is your Symphony World Tour, your Violin World Tour, and trying to get the sympathy from all the fans because she had a hard upbringing. That fell flat on its face. And number 2, it's because you booked her as a fucking heel. Now, we've heard reports that they're thinking about making her heel anyway. So they're probably like, fuck it, let's see how you do with these two. But still, the way you've been booking her was to be a face. She's had no actual heel turn yet. and then you just place her with again. I'm not supposed to say any of this though, right? We're just supposed to watch it, enjoy it, and move on to the next show. And if I complain, bitch, moan, or call out anything that doesn't make sense, I'm just being a negative fuck in the community. Well, so be it. I tell you, man. How about Lacey's booking, man? I said Symphony World Tour 3 times earlier, didn't I? Sympathy World Tour, because that's what she was trying to get out of us. That's what WWE made her do. Fucking travesty in its own right. But you might as well play the fucking symphony. 100 fucking violins. Because Vince was hoping we were going to shed tears every week that she told her fucking story. It didn't work, and there she is, playing around in this 6-woman with nobody giving a fuck about her presence in that match. Anyway, had to talk about Lacey's laughable booking. Becky Lynch is on commentary. Thank goodness, the only good part of this fucking match. Cole asks her why she's not in this match, and Beck says, and I quote, "Because I'm intelligent, that's why." Oh, bro! That is awesome! Yes! Someone finally speaks the truth on live television, live WWE television. Michael Cole has the fucking balls to ask Becky Lynch why she's not in this nonsensical fucking match with no purpose to it. Supremacy! And Becky Lynch actually says, "Because I'm intelligent, that's why." Oh, Becky Lynch gets the gold stars on this show, man. All of them, give them to Becky. Fucking great. Morgan eventually defeats Shotzi with Oblivion. Sucks that Shotzi has to take an L, but it's always good to see Morgan get a W because she is so fucking good right now and she gets better and better, and she's got all the momentum in the world. It's always good to see Morgan collect W's. It just sucks that Shotzi had to eat an L in a nonsensical 6-woman. It's just, if you just cared about this shit, you could book this so much better for the superstars, the wrestlers, and for the fans. But nobody cares, so it's just one schmoz match after another, just to utilize everybody, get it done with. But that's not creating any excitement or care for the pay-per-view. And I think nobody wants to understand or even talk about those issues but BC. So be it. I love how Alexa, because after the match, Becky hit the ring and manhandle slams Asuka right in front of Alexa and Liv. And I love how Alexa and Liv just let her do it. They just stood there as Becky just decimated fucking Asuka. And then afterwards, Liv and Alexa try to help Asuka up like they were concerned the whole time. You gotta go back and check that out. That's just too funny, dude. Storyline-wise, if you want to say there was a little story here, that would make sense if they're all in Money in the Bank. You also want to hurt Asuka just a little bit, man. Put the odds in your favor. Backstage, Sonya Deville says she filed a formal complaint against Adam Pearce, who she's at this point face-to-face with. And then Sonya Deville smacks Pearce so hard across his face that his hearing is still somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. I mean, this was a smack of smacks, bro. Sonya Deville laid into this son of a bitch. So we'll see what fucking Adam Pearce has as a punishment. I mean, now he's being reviewed by their own board, thanks to Sonya Deville. So is he going to be apprehensive to punish her more, or does he put her in a match with some diabolical figure? Who the fuck knows, man? I can't get too far ahead in this company because they don't even know where they're going with this shit. And then we have Kayla Braxton, the ever so beautiful Kayla Braxton, mediating a segment between the Street Profits and the Usos. It's a segment called Ask Me Anything. Now, I could easily bash the concept of this segment. They're at podiums, and it's like a talk show called Ask Me Anything, and the questions are so stupid. One of them is like, Usos, are you scared to take on the Street Profits? And for the Street Profits, it's like, is there animosity between you two? You and Montez and Dawkins, are you guys having issues? I mean, this was so bad, man. Thank goodness Kayla was out there because she is so fucking beautiful and she can get our minds off the stupidity that we're watching and listening to. But I could easily pan the concept of this segment, as I aforementioned, but I'm actually going to focus on the straight fire that these boys spit on the mic. Passion, believability. This was actually a really good face-to-face for a moment. I mean, they were at podiums for half of it, and then they went face-to-face. But this was a really good face-to-face, straight-fire promo, man. Street Profits were actually using the Usos first said we want the smoke, so they used the Street Profits' own catchphrase, and then the Profits said you the twos and we the ones, so they used the Usos catchphrase. I thought that was a really good way to end that segment, but it all goes down to no matter if I loved the promo work itself, the segment it was just laughable, like the concept of it. And then on top of that, nobody wanted to talk about the stipulation that was the focal point on Monday when Tez defeated Jey Uso. And there's supposed to be a stipulation, and Friday we're going to find out what this is, and nobody wants to, nobody wants to discuss this shit, right? Because I feel that they forgot about it, guys. I feel that nobody even remembered to bring this up, and that's what I mean about a travesty that this company is. So they're either at some point today going to have to break on WWE.com that the Street Profits came up with a stipulation, or hours before, or maybe minutes before the actual event tonight. It is today anyway. So I was going to say today they're going to have to come up with something. It is pay-per-view day. So at some point today, they're going to have to if somebody is going to finally remind them, and they're going to have to break news on WWE.com, I'm guessing. But it's still, you have to mention it last night. You have to at least mention it, because it's part of your supposed story, and this is what I mean. There is no storylines. It's just throw everybody out there, have them say some words, and that's it. They don't care to make stories. What you're viewing on WWE television, guys, these are not stories. These are not storylines. Go back into the last 30 years of WWE at least, and you'll see nothing but storylines. The last 10 years, it's been fucking falling off at an alarming rate. But you go back to the fucking 80s, you go back to the 90s, you go back into the early 2000s, you're going to see storyline after storyline. Nowadays, this is not storylines, guys. I want to make that very clear. I think people say the word storyline too often. I'm loving the Street Profits Uso storyline. There is no story, guys. Literally, they faced each other a bunch, and then the past couple weeks they've been saying some words to each other. That's not a story. Just not. Just not. There's not even enough history to make it a story in the promos, if that makes sense. And then they start something with a stipulation, and then they just forget about it the next fucking show. Max Dupree is then out next, introducing finally, after fucking weeks. I'm sure WWE didn't even know who they wanted to be in this Max's model agency. But finally, last night, we get the first two members of this modeling agency from LA Knight, who has been repackaged to Max Dupree, totally ruining everything that LA Knight could have been. But such is the case. Such is the case always with this company. Massey, formerly Mace. I think it's Massey, correct? I mean, I'm putting fucking little marks above certain letters like the French, like the Francians would do. Trying to make this fucking sound all regal. I think it's Massey, formerly was Mace in Retribution. And Mansoor, formerly Mansoor. God, I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying here, man. They basically made Mace and Mansoor like regal, prissy, preppy models. And they switched their name. Mace is now Massey, and Mansoor is now Mansoor. They were like a fucking, like a men's cologne or some shit, yeah? You know, honey, where's my Mansoor? So they took these two dudes, and I'm hoping this ignites a fire in their careers. I just can't say that this is captivating BC, man. I know it's day one. I hope this gets a lot better, because they both started posing on a runway stage for the next 5 minutes. There is no possible way to review this, so we will just move on. It's just the best thing to do, man. Main event, fatal four-way schmaz to determine the last participant in the men's Money in the Bank match. This about sums everything up, because I want you to think about this, please. Less than 24 hours away from the actual event, Money in the Bank, right, which is tonight. But at that point, you're less than 24 hours away, and they don't even have the card filled. Matches not even confirmed or even known at that point to the general audience. I bet you the company doesn't even know the fucking finalized matches. How that isn't a red flag and a major concern for everybody in the community and in the industry is beyond BC. That's how pathetic this company has gotten and how far and how fast they have fallen. Madcap versus Corbin versus Ezekiel versus Miz. The match was sloppy. That's my review. Corbin hits deep six on Ezekiel, then Madcap throws Corbin into the ring post, capitalizing on Corbin's deep six. And it's Ezekiel that is pinned by Madcap. So Corbin does the work, Madcap takes out Corbin, Madcap pins Ezekiel. So the only two faces in the match are involved in the pin. Literally nobody in that company, and BC does mean nobody in that company, gives a flying fuck about proper booking and how this all affects their talent and makes them look like losers. What got you excited to watch Money in the Bank tonight from last night's show, or anything these last 4 weeks? For real, this show was the final sell. I mean, I really want you guys to think about that. This show last night was the final sell to get you invested into this event tonight. And instead, it did everything to get you not wanting to watch it. It gave you 100 reasons to not watch this event. It is trying to make you turn away from it. At this point, you can't convince me of anything else. This is like internal sabotage. They're trying to come up with ways to get you not to order this event. Turn away from the peacock. It is tiring. It is sad. It is pathetic that we have to limp into these premium events like this every single time there is one. Because that's what we do. We limp into it. There's no care for it. Nobody is truly excited. And at least half of my amplified unit, which is a microcosm of the larger picture of fans in the community, at least half always say the same thing. I didn't even know there was a pay-per-view tonight. I didn't know there was a pay-per-view last night. I forgot there was even a pay-per-view, BC! I don't fucking blame you. That's not your own negligence. That's Vince McMahon's negligence for not giving you a reason to remember or care enough to order it. BC Amplified. That is your July 1st, 2022 Smackdown review. The go-home show to Money in the Bank tonight. One way or the other, I was going to do a live stream during Money in the Bank tonight. That does not look like it's going to happen now. I have so much business to get to. As I said, I'm out in the world. I'm trying to get it all accomplished. And it doesn't look like I'm going to be in a normal setup tonight to watch it. I will be viewing, so you guys are going to get a review within the next 24 hours. And it's not just any review. It's the good, the bad, damn it, and the ugly. The best review you're going to find in the community is going to be on this channel within the next 24 hours. You thought I was harsh on this Smackdown Go-Home show. If they want to produce garbage tonight on this pay-per-view, you're going to hear all about it on my next review. Until then, think, be, live, amplified always. My amp unit. If you haven't already, wake up, and get amplified. Red Team! Time to kick some weekend ass. Red Team, go! Yeah.